Back when I was still having sex with men who wore Adidas slides and dirty white socks, you know the ones. I wish I could tell me then that I'd be married to like a whole ass pediatrician sitting outside in our backyard by the fire he built me drinking an old fashioned, waiting for him to come downstairs to join me because he's putting our kids to bed. Marry the nerd. Back when I was still having sex with men who wore Adidas slides and dirty white socks, you know the ones. I wish I could tell me then that I'd be married to like a whole ass pediatrician sitting outside in our backyard by the fire he built me drinking an old fashioned, waiting for him to come downstairs to join me because he's putting our kids to bed. Marry the nerd. Back when I was still having sex with men who wore Adidas slides and back.
I'm not pausing this shit.
Stop throwing away your wilted ass.
All right, we'll get back to her. What's going on, family? It's your man BMT in the building. We are live. Welcome to another Sunday rundown, a Sunday tap in. All right, I just want to kind of start off with that. All right, that video. People say that's DJ, DJ DL Hughley's daughter. I'm not sure. I just heard that. I'm not sure if it looks like him, but I'm not sure if that's DL Hughley's daughter. But we'll get more to her further on into the show. I'm gonna welcome everybody to the show. We live, man. I know you guys are cracking on the thumbnail. That is not me in the thumbnail. I know you guys think that's me. That's not me. All right, in the thumbnail. All right. We in here, man. Do me a favor, guys. Make sure you hit that like button. We got a long show, great show for you guys tonight on this Sunday night tap in. All right. Trust in the nerd says, I would rather not be alive than to be that brother. Okay. Somebody said DNT. Oh, it is his daughter. Okay, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if that was he was daughter or not, man. Damn, that's crazy. I never thought DL was that funny though. Shout out to DL though. Like, he's very successful. I just, his show was okay. But shout out to DL, man. All right. The Real CP show 7386, man. He says the economy in various places are getting worse, so more numbers of women in some places are like that nerd guy. Might be the card to get out of the economic disaster. Listen, man, this is bigger than what I assumed. I thought that this was just like, a one-off viral video. But upon my research, they've been doing a lot of articles about this. This has been a trending topic since 2026. Coming straight directly from dating apps. I'm going to read an article by Vice. You know how Vice is like left-leaning, LGBT leaning, but I'm also break down an article by Vice. So this is pretty big, man. Women generally do change their dating agendas at some point when they see things are not working. So this is going to be interesting, man, because the way this Passport Bros thing is just hitting the dating scene, where you got empty clubs, less marriages, all right, guys getting their passports, everybody traveling. I mean, we're going to talk about it all. Like, it's interesting. It's an interesting dating dynamic in 2026, all right? Even more so, even overseas. The women are chasing us overseas, and I have proof. I'm going to show that in a moment, all right? Shout out to my man Punch Travel in the building, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to my man Punch Travel, all right? Actually, I got a screenshot I want to share with my man Punch Travel too. Let me see if I can get that screenshot together. My man Arizona. Okay, my guys from the app are on the show today, man. Shout out to my man Arizona Riders Club Travel, man. He's also on the Passport Bros app. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, my man. Azrael, first of his name, 8695. Also, real quick, my man Arizona is down there at the DR, man. He, I believe he does some type of tour services. We got to connect on that too, brother. But definitely holler at him if you're interested in anything concerning the DR. Azrael, first of his name, 8695, says dirty socks and Adidas flip-flops. Yeah, she started off roasting off rip, And the thing is, she kind of like, and I hate this DL Hughley's daughter. I don't like to, talk about people's daughters, nothing like that. But I mean, she kind of admitting to herself the type of men that she was sleeping around with early on in her dating cycle. I mean, what type of bros be? I don't really know too many bros that be walking around with. Maybe you do. I don't know. I never walk around with dirty socks and Adidas flip-flops and shit. I don't know what that's about. All right, but she kind of admitting to herself what her level of self-worth was early on. And it's weird that they try to blame the men. The men are doing what they're supposed to do. The men are supposed to try to get into your panties as soon as possible. All right, that's how we trigger it. We try to see how much self-respect you have. We want to know if you're the neighborhood hoe or you the neighborhood queen. We want to know if you Keisha down the block that everybody will hit, or we want to know if the nice one, the good one, the marriage material one. So we're gonna test you just like y'all test us. So she's kind of loosely admitting and also embarrassing her current husband right now. Because that's something most men do not like to discuss. We don't really like to discuss our partner's sexual past like that. We just kind of like, we don't understand it's America, we understand it's hookup culture. We just kind of let bygones be bygones and hope that she's not too emotionally damaged. All right. But it just, in a way, and I'm gonna play that video a little further up, we got a lot to cover, but in a way, she's admitting to really using her husband, really, as kind of like like a cop out to a certain degree, just kind of like a third place prize, really. If I was her husband, I'd feel extremely insulted. I'm not necessarily saying this grounds for divorce, but she made several other videos. That's the problem. Like she stood on it. All right. What up, Prince Zakira? Okay, all right. Somebody said, bitch, that's on the blue book. Hey, man, this is bigger than what we thought. And the Superfly intro, y'all think it's Superfly intro music? All right. Let me play this. I want to play this because, hold on, I want to play this video real quick. I want to play this video. This has been going viral too. Hold on, let me remove this from the stage because I got to kind of DJ this. Not DJI, but StreamYard a little bit differently now because it'd be borging out so much. All right, let me, where we at? Hold on, guys. I want to play this video. Where is it? Okay, right here.
Legalize slavery.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Say more, because if I'm thinking about...
Hold on. All right. Now, the reason I'm pulling her up because she's spoke on PassportBros before. And, the thing about Leslie Jones, I don't really find her, funny like that. I don't really find too many female comedians that funny for the most part. I'm trying to think if I ever actually laughed at a female comedian. I think the most funniest women that I've seen on like just not stand-up show, but a show was Gina and Pam from Martin. They were funny. They was funny, but I never just laughed at too many female comics like that. Not to say that's not funny, but Leslie was chosen, and people, when they get chosen by Hollywood and not really know what they're chosen for, all right, because I don't see she has like a considerable amount of talent. And I'm mentioning her because she mentioned the PassportBros a couple of times, actually, dissing us, of course. But it's like Hollywood has always casted burly sisters to play alongside the pretty snow bunny white girls, right? They've always done that ever since Gone with the Wind. They'll pick, a precious style female to put her right beside a blonde hair, blue eyed, 21-year-old that you still see her clavicles and shit like that. Not clavicle, but collarbones. The hell I'm talking about. All right. And to make her look prettier, to make them feel better about themselves. So, I mean, nobody's going to say it, especially in the public media. And I'm not saying she's just, what I want to say. All right. But Leslie has never been married, ever. I don't think Leslie's ever been in a real relationship either. But let's go. Let's see what she has to say.
I think marriage is legalized slavery.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Say more, because if I'm thinking about slavery and I'm thinking about marriage, there are two different images that come into my head.
Absolutely not.
Shout out to this sister because she kept it a buck.
I don't know how you don't. Man is, especially if he's expecting you to be a trad wife, you might as well pull out a whip.
Pull out a whip?
And a chain.
All right, hold on.
Wow. So there are young people watching who might be wanting to get married. What would you say to them?
Don't.
Don't get married.
No.
All right. So you see how some women will go into this manipulation of the younger generation, all because of the decisions that they made themselves. Instead of just doing her and saying, hey, marriage isn't for me individually. Marriage isn't for me. I don't like fixing a man a meal. I don't like coming second fiddle in her mind. This is what she's thinking. She's selfish, like a lot of women these days. She's selfish. She feels like it should all be about her, and the man should be in servitude towards her. All right. And keep in mind, this woman has never been married before. And I'm pretty sure she probably didn't come up in a 2-parent household. This is not the diss or bash her. But the thing is, like, she's going into this, what I call this manipulation tactic that a lot of women do, older women do, in order to stop specifically Black women until marriage, which is the best thing for them. All right, which is the best thing for them. All right, let me catch the super chat real quick. We got the first super chat of the day. All right, Trusted the Nerd with the 5 super chat says, grew up in Louisiana, then I went to high school in Germany, then went to an HBCU in Texas. I could not relate to Pookie and Keisha after traveling. We're gonna talk about that too. But I just want to play that real quick, man. Leslie, she's always saying little sly comments. I don't know if she thinks she deserves some form of, NBA basketball player because of her Hollywood success. But yeah, she's always talking mess. All right. Smart man says, salute to follow the nerds. My best we watch the cat facts. She telling you, not Leslie, but damn, I keep saying her DL. I don't know her name, but DL Hughley's daughter, basically. She's revealing her cat facts to you. All right. And the trolls, guys. The trolls. That's some bootleg Africans trolling my channel, So the trolls for now. All right, let me remove this. I want to give a shout out before we get to the gist of the show. And I'm gonna catch a super chat in a moment. I want to give a shout out to my man Travel Motivate, my man Jamie Woods over there. He's on Instagram. I want to play a clip real quick. Hold on, let me remove this shit, man. StreamYard is just so janky these days, man. I don't know. I gotta find another streaming service. All right. Okay, hold on. I might have come back in. Hold on, but I want to play this interview clip I did with my man Jamie.
That the Passport Bros have ruined.
All right. And don't worry, guys, we're going to get back to the subject at hand. I just want to give him a shout out because this is really a good interview. All right, this is a great interview. This is like one of the segments of the interview. We did about 30, maybe like 35 minutes.
You think that the Passport Bros have ruined Sosua and Medellin?
No, not at all. I think like the sneak cam dudes really, played a large part in that role. But like I said before, man, Passport Bros is more so about a mindset and an ideology, than like any type of form of membership or club or anything like that. But we want to keep that, that image good. Like we don't want to sully our image. And unfortunately, a lot of guys who just been traveling in general who don't even associate themselves with the term Passport Bros is kind of sullying up the image, man. Like, the hood is on game as far as travels. We got guys that's trying to skip bail and go to Bali and, skip to Thailand and stuff because they know about the travel game now. So, it's unfortunate, but, all we can do is just hold the line of, what we define as Passport Bros. We're not going to let the media define it, and we're not going to allow the media to just point at anybody that do something effed up and be like, oh, he must be a passport. Mm-hmm. He probably don't even know the name of it. Like, he probably don't even know the term. And that's what's been happening. Like the media just says, "Oh, traveling from the West, you're a passport, bro." And I've had, I'm not even gonna say arguments, but debates with guys that do that because that's a dangerous thing. That's like no difference than me seeing a white guy and calling him a Nazi. He might not be a Nazi at all. You know what I'm saying? He might not be a perv at all. It's like me seeing a black guy and just automatically calling him a pookie just because he's black. You know what I mean? Like that's dangerous ground that we own. It just comes with the territory of being a popular term, man. All right, so I want to just give a shout out to my man Travel. Like I said, Travel Motivate. If you guys haven't followed him on Instagram, he has a pretty sizable channel. He does a lot of travel content. I believe he might be in
You think that
Brazil
the
right
past
now. Hold on. All right, so shout out to him, man. Let me get the super chat real quick, and we'll get back to the subject at hand. Okay, did I freeze? Look like I froze again. Let me come back in. Yep, I froze. All right, we back, family. We back. StreamYard does that. It freezes every show. All right, but we back. I gotta hold on. I got a comment real quick. I want to catch. But before I catch that comment, I want to give a shout out to my man Marcus A. Brown in the building with a $10 super chat. Man, I've been seeing you put it in work, brother. Shout out to you. So salute to bro BMT and the chat. All right. Salute to my man MAB in the building. All right. Hold on. I got a hell of a comment here. I want to read this comment real quick. Somebody say he knows a lot of bots and crap, but yeah, it's a couple of African dudes doing that shit. All right, doing that corny ass shit. You know how some of these dudes be, man. All right. Somebody said Leslie Jones is mad because nobody checking for her. Yeah, basically. That's basically the gist of it. But won't nobody just be real with her. Somebody said Jones shows and stuff, like skits and shit like that. Man, somebody made a comment about being a nerd and getting married. I'm trying to catch it up to it. Hopefully the chat will catch up to it in a moment. Hold on, let me turn off this. Poor decision, so now she's going to kick down younger women so she doesn't have to feel jealousy and regret. I don't know, but did the guy delete the comment? Because it was a hell of a. So my man Punch Travel said Leslie complained men aren't turned on to her in the bed. I wonder why. You know what though? Believe it or not, man, I believe there's somebody for everybody. She just probably passed up on the guy she probably should have been with. That's usually how it goes. Man, I had a good comment. I'm trying to find. Hold on, fam. I'm trying to find this comment of this guy said he was cheated on. He basically was saying that he was cheated on. Maybe delete the comment, but he said he was a nerd and he was cheated on by his wife. Where is that comment at? I don't see it no more. Okay, here we go. Justin Holmes. Is that what's his name? I forgot my man's name. Primo? Is that Primo? He says, "Hey BMT, I was that nerd when my ex-wife settled down with me. She cheated on me with her ex-boyfriend. Nice guys finished last, and I finished last, but I learned a lot from that situation." Sorry to hear that, brother. Sorry to hear that, man. We want to come on a little later on in the show. You're always welcome to come on and speak about your experiences with that. All right. Yeah, she said legalized slavery. All right. I'm gonna make a quick segue, man. And we're gonna get to the subject at hand. We're gonna get to the main subject at hand in a moment here, fellas. But I wanna make a quick segue, bro. To some of maybe my younger guys in the chat, to my brothers that got family and kids. Listen, man. It's unfortunate. I'm gonna play the footage in a moment. It's an unfortunate thing that goes on within our so-called communities when we group up, right? And I haven't even seen this overseas like it is in our community. I'm not gonna say it only happens in our community, but when it does happen, shootings happen in other communities. There's usually maybe some political reason or some military reason or some religious reason. But I want to play this clip real quick, man. And this kind of ties into what a lot of brothers is trying to leave. All right. This is one of those elements. And a lot of us come from these inner city neighborhoods and stuff like that. A lot of us come from New York, Atlanta, stuff like that. And it's been like this for quite some time. This is not like a new generational thing right here, where they shoot up parties and shoot up events and stuff like that. But I just want to just kind of give that caution sign out there for guys still trying to intermingle, with these little social events in the States, whether you in, Miami or Orlando or you in Atlanta or something like that, especially if you have kids, man, listen, we can't act right. Not we, but unfortunately, the elements of the Black community do not act right when it concerns of group outings or group events. All right, so I'm gonna show this video. This was sent to me by a couple of people actually. This right here, where we at? I believe this is one of the clips right here. This right here is 404 day. All right, this is 404 day in Atlanta. Why is it not pulling up? All right, this is. All right, so I'm gonna probably have like a little copyright strike. Guys, just ignore the trolls. If I got any mods here, get some of these guys up out of here. All right, you can tell. I know exactly who doing this little troll shit too. I can tell by the comment section. All right, little dusty African dude. All right. Can y'all see it now? I don't know why my stream acting so janky the goddamn day. Did I freeze again? Oh my goodness. All right. Kevin Rome says, knew there's going to be trouble at the festival. Go figure. Right. So this is 404 day. Now, when I saw the promotions for this, and I saw a lot of people that I went to high school with, in college with, going out to this so-called 404 day. I never heard of 404 day, but 404 day. I knew it was going to end up bad. I said, nah, man, you can't have a lot of Black people. It's too many young boys, all right, out there, and young women out there that grew up without a father in the household or a strong paternal man within the household. All right, it's not going to end good. It's not going to end good. It's going to be some little young YNs out there emotionally triggered, or some Keishas out there emotionally triggered, and something bad going to happen because guns are everywhere in America. All right, so you got some dudes just vibing out. It's 404 day. We're supposed to be celebrating, our culture to a certain degree. I'm gonna have to mute this toward the end because I don't want to. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit.
Because You know, it's getting late. Parents, y'all need to know where y'all
This shit all over the place.
kids at. So
Damn, StreamYard fucking up today. What the hell is going on with StreamYard, man? They got the wrong videos, audio playing and shit.
if you don't know where your child at, come get the motherfuckers right now. Yeah.
Oh, StreamYard just adding up today, man. Okay, let me try to remove this and come back in with it. To make a long story short, man, they were shooting. All right, they were shooting up in it. Okay, I froze again. God damn it. All right, we back, family. We back. All right, everything dropped on. Let's see if we can play this video now. All right, we're just gonna skip to the. Why is it playing? All right. All right, to make a long story short, it was shooting. I don't know why. The video's not playing back good. Somebody said if there's no dress code, I don't go. What is going on with the stream today, fellas? What's going on with this damn stream? Freezing up for some reason. This is not the internet. This is definitely StreamYard. Or it's a bunch of trolls coming in, either or. Guys, if I got any mods in here, man, let's get these trolls up out of here. I know y'all get them off. Let's see. We're gonna push through this. No worries. We're gonna push through it. We're gonna get it together, family. A few technical difficulties, but we're gonna roll on. But basically, all I wanted to say is, man, if you're in the States and you still currently going out, hanging out, socializing, I get it. You gotta stay, go outside sometimes. Just be careful, man. Black folk don't really act right when it comes to, big social events. If you got a couple thousand of us, it's going to end bad every goddamn time. Unfortunately, And this kind of ties into what a lot of us are trying to escape, basically. We're trying to escape shit like this, right? Because it's not normal for a culture of people to just get along, to get along enough to have an event together and just play some music, have a few drinks, walk by, see the ladies and everything like that, see what everybody has on. It's not normal to not be able to do this without it being some form of violence. And unfortunately, a young woman did die. It's just senseless, bro. And it's because of the broken family formula that we have within our so-called community. It's not really a community. We pretty much live in, red line neighborhoods in the States for the most part. Not all times, but in most cases. So just keep that in mind. I just want to kind of put that out there a little bit. Somebody said perhaps those bots and plantation bros are working hard to keep black men. You know what's funny, man? It's like, I listen to a lot of Tariq Nasheed, and sometimes he be hitting on the right things as far as delineating and everything like that, but he never mentions like how much dysfunction we have within our community. He's still on like save the black community to a certain degree, and I don't think that it can be salvaged at this point until you actually address the real issues within our community, which is broken homes, which is broken families, which is single-led families, single parent-led families. We're not gonna really go nowhere, even if we get so-called reparations, which I don't believe we're gonna ever get, because in a lot of cases, those were deals made by the African governments over there at that time. So the U.S. government look at it like, well, those were deals that we made. Can't really renege on the deal. So I don't know if we're gonna ever get reparations, but I noticed that a lot of key figures that we listen to, like Tariq, like Dr. Umar, never really address the real issues that we have. They never really point out the real issues that we have. And the real issues that we have is the fact that it's too many single parent-led households out here, And that's why I believe the Passport Bros is a solution. All right? It is a solution. It's globalizing your life. Is, expanding your dating options, dating women that have more of a traditional background, or more of a self-sacrificial. When I say self-sacrificial, when you're a parent, man, you're supposed to be all about the next generation. You're supposed to be about funneling resources to your children's education or to put them in a better position that you did. And in a lot of cases, you see that half these women are trying to compete with these young women. Half these women, want to put you on child support. They don't even want you to raise your kids. Listen, I remember talking to a guy here. He had his daughter maybe a month or two before I had mine. And I was like, asking him questions and stuff like that. And he said, he already previously had a kid. And I'm like, well, this is my first. I know this is your second. You might not be as excited as I am. But then he said, you know what? I am excited because I actually get to raise this one. He said, man, I didn't even get to raise my first kid. She took him through me on child support and went to another state. And the rest is history. I barely seen him. Right? I didn't get to raise him like I want to raise him. Because that's part of the unfortunate formula of our community is the fact that a lot of cases, man, these women have been programmed to snatch a kid away, right, and raise them in a single-led household. They feel like your only importance is money. It's only financial. You only have a financial duty. You don't have a time and investment duty to really give your kid the right elements of being a productive person in society, bro. And you see it when you have events like this. You already know what kind of home them kids came from. You already know some young motherfuckers that's shooting up for no goddamn reason. The prison full of them. All right. Shots of Wonder 34. All right. I just want to speak on that briefly. Before we get back to the subject at hand, family. Because, it was a guy that posted really like a heartfelt clip online on Instagram of his daughter that got killed at this event. Okay, his daughter got killed at this event, and that's horrible. That's horrible, man. It's just unfortunate, senseless, really. Senseless, really. So rest in peace in her, man. Like I said before, be cautious going to these little dumbass, faux events or these little, they always end bad, bro. They never want the first baby daddy is tradition. My man says, Invisible Revolution says, my next 2 children are about to be half Filipino. Fuck all that FBA shit. Right. I don't understand why they won't address the real issues at hand. I don't understand why neither Dr. Umar, Tariq, they want to roast Tariq as a comedian. He wants to roast, foreigners. But in some cases, these foreigners have a better, home structure than we do. Collectively, generally speaking. I know you got Black men married, raising their kids the right way in the home. I understand that. But I'm just saying, overall, it's like 70, 80% single-led households. All right. All right, I want to talk about this too. Hold on real quick. This is funny right here. Let me remove this. Let me remove this, man. Hold on. I'm DJing a little bit here, trying to patch this little janky StreamYard together. All right, hold on. Is this it? Hold on. This is a funny ass clip right here. And I want to talk about some of the stuff that's going on. Is this the clip? This might be the clip. That's currently going on here in Thailand.
This content.
All right. I want to show you guys this right here. So, you know that we can't really have anything to ourselves, right? You guys know that wherever we go, they will follow to a certain degree. Now, I want to preface this and say that 9 times out of 10, when brothers and sisters meet each other overseas, it's generally okay, for the most part. But our goals are much different in some cases. And a lot of times, because sisters feel like they're entitled to us and our attention, they don't like the fact that we can date out, at least in Thailand, a little bit easier than them. Now, the issue is that they're coming into, not that they're in Thailand, that's not the issue, but they're coming into like these male spaces where the dynamics are different, right? The dynamics are different. So I'm gonna play this video real quick, right? And I believe this is in Pattaya, all right? They're in a bar. Now, guys, that for the most part in Pattaya, all right, if you in a bar, the girls are working, right? You can define that however you want to define that, but they're working, okay? And in some cases, they won't even allow, women into these bars in some cases. Not all, but in some cases, they won't allow women into these bars, right? Because the women are there to entertain the men, all right? And women from other countries kind of know this already, so you won't really see a bunch of European women or a bunch of Middle Eastern women in these said bars. But some sisters didn't get the memo.
Content is crazy. Watch out. Watch out. This content is crazy. Move around. Move around. Sit down. Go sit down.
Yo.
Watch out. Move around. What the fuck wrong with you?
Move. You better leave her alone before she beat your
Go
ass.
sit down.
So just to get us some context, it's a Thai woman that's in a bar that's upset that the brother is, I guess, talking to the sister in there. And the sister's recording. She's saying she was so mad he was talking to me, a black girl, that's talent for you. Well, listen, you messing up her little situation, basically. You messing up her little situation. Okay, and you have this element that's going on right now in Pattaya where you have the sisters and the Thai women, you see them going out and kicking it and everything like that. And it's just a recipe for disaster. They already been in several fights, out here. Okay, this is not the place for that. Now, if you in Bangkok somewhere, or if you in a restaurant at John T.M., I get that part because that's not the situation. But if you smack dab, in some of these areas where you're in, these girls are working within these bars. Like I say, I'm surprised they even let you in, but they're letting you in because they anticipate that you're going to buy some drinks, not that you're going to take the customers away. I'm just going to put it to you at that. You guys can read in between the lines what I'm saying. All right. Somebody said it's not a good look for the brothers. All right. Homies game that type. Yeah. Yeah, basically. I keep freezing the hell up, man. This is ridiculous. All right, let me see. Shout out my man Zans was close to the building. So just because one of these niggas will always get they need to admit that. Somebody said the show thumbnail is accurate. We had that who step on the passport exactly represents the state of dating today. I want to get to this. You know what? I had this article pulled up. Let me see if I can pull it up again. Where's the article at? All right. Hopefully we can pull up this article. I'm trying to patch this show together, man. We got a lot of bots in here. We got StreamYard acting janky for some odd reason. Somebody said password, put your ad again. That's my man's right there. All right, hold on. Let me try this again. All right, here we go. All right, so this is an article by Vice. All right, smart is sexy. Nerds are about to dominate dating apps in 2026. All right, what's the definition of a nerd these days, by the way? All right, we back rolling, guys. We got the trolls up out of here. Appreciate everybody. All right, we got 141 in the room. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. All right, smart is sexy. Nerds are about to dominate dating apps in 2026. What's the definition of a nerd in the first place? All right, how cool you got to be in your 30s and 40s? Nerd in white society and nerd in black society mean two polar opposite things. Nerd in black society, like a nerd in white society is actually a nerd. Y'all guys remember the Revenge of the Nerds? That's an actual legitimate, sci-fi, Trekkie, Star Wars. That's an actual nerd. I watch Star Wars, by the way. Yeah, Star Trek. Star Trek. All right, nerd, where we're from, most of you guys are brothers in the group. Nerd means anything outside of thugging. All right, anything near some type of form of education, anything staying felony free, that would be considered to be a nerd in the black community. So everything opposite of just being a normal black man would be considered to be a nerd. Okay, so keep that in mind. You got two different types of nerds. All right. So it goes on to say, good news for nerds, you'll be getting your credit you deserve in the 2026 dating scene. All right. According to dating.com, 71% of respondents say nerds are sexy, proving that more daters are financially factoring in personality when searching for potential partners. Okay. Of course, that's not to say that nerds aren't physically attractive. Rather, it shows that fewer people will be wooed by superficial charm or lust-fueled chemistry. Instead, they search for deeper connections and more emotional attraction. Man, Vice is so full of shit. Vice is so full of it. Millennials are reshaping the meaning of intimacy Companionship, boundaries, and even what it means to be together, the report says. All right, they are widely considered the burnout generation for a reason. They came of age during financial crisis. Hold on. They came of age during financial crisis, unstable job markets, the rise of hustle culture, and decade of always on a digital life. Okay, that's interesting that they say that. So I've been cool for years. Why be cool at 46? I love peace. Yeah, Vice full of it. Vice is full of it. Hold on. Let me I want to pull something else up real quick. And I'm gonna drop a link too. I want to see if you guys want to pull up and discuss this. Oh, that's the wrong link. All right, I just dropped the link in the chat. Let's see what we got here. Man, you know what? When this StreamYard acts so janky, man, it just really messes up the flow. But we're going to roll with it, though. We're going to roll with it. All right, what's her name? What's this chick name? So it's this whole little trending session on TikTok right now about Married a Nerd. So I'm going to find this. And I'm gonna play the video again in a moment. All right, let me play this video again. Let me really kick some of this shit out. Y'all going off in the comment section, man. All right. Can't marry a nerd if you don't understand them. Like I said before, man, nerd is not even really a nerd, you know, in our community. Now look at her. She do look a little
Here's
bit
the
like.
thing about Deal.
She do kind of look like.
You know, back when I was still having sex with men who wore Adidas slides and dirty white socks, you know the ones. I wish I could tell me then that I'd be married to like a whole ass pediatrician sitting outside in our backyard by the fire he built me, drinking an old fashioned, waiting for him to come downstairs to join me because he's putting our kids to bed. Marry the nerd.
So this video went viral. I'm sure that most people have seen it, but I want to talk about the conversation that I actually think is going on in this video. This is probably going to be an uncomfortable truth about modern dating. For a lot of people, both men and women, who they're attracted to when they're younger tends to change as they gain more wisdom and maturity and their priorities shift. I also think that when you're younger, more people tend to crave novelty, variety, new experiences.
All right, she's just rambling on, you know. Somebody said in the black community, if you can read, you're a nerd. Yeah, basically. If you don't shoot up the block, you're a nerd in the black community. I was watching some little janky ass interview clip of some little rapper dude. He was calling like normal guys lame and all this shit. I'm like, bro, shut your ass up. A lot of them rappers, a lot of them little street dudes can't shoot, can't fight. They emotional as hell. They really like the male version of a hood rat, basically. All right. No type of integrity. Just boys in search of their little masculinity and shit. All right, hold on. I want to, because she made another video. She made another video trying to explain herself. Let me search for this. Hold on. All right. CEO. Where's the search bar here? You have a search bar up on this joint. Oh yeah, dude. Okay, hold on. All right, so here she go. Oh, I got it. I got to pull it up. Hold on. I got to pull it up, family. Hold on. We patching this show together. I appreciate you guys' patience. Still, okay, hold on. All right, so she made an apology video. Let's see what she said about this apology.
I went viral for a video I did last week telling women to marry a nerd. I also made the cardinal mistake of admitting to having sex before I met my husband. I'm guilty of the exact same thing their mother is, having sex. I'm not guilty of having sex with a dumbass. That's true, but still. In my video, all I was trying to do was tell women to not have sex with the type of men who produced the dudes in my comments. And men from all across the internet are making think pieces about it. You know, I'm a slut, I'm a skank, I got trains run on me, my husband was my last option, I settled, he settled, may this love never find me, that kind of thing. And before I met my husband, I used to eat men like that, like the ones in my comments, alive for funsies. And I know the joke, oh, you used to swallow dick. Oh, God, make better jokes. You guys have been telling the same fucking jokes since like the Salem witch trial. Like, you know, in The Wizard of Oz, when the lion tries to scare Dorothy and she like goes like, what the fuck are you doing? And he goes, oh, I'm actually like, I just need some courage. Like a lot of you are just trying to figure out how to be a man. And that's how it comes through. Like,
no, you're supposed to be apologizing to your husband, lady. You're supposed to be apologizing to your husband for making that dumbass video. All right? How is this an apology? She's blaming the people that's reading through what she said. No accountability whatsoever. You embarrassed, disrespected your husband, all right? You made him look like a damn idiot. You made him look like a last option. And you more so are mentioning people's moms in the comment section, and you're going back and forth on, you know, these dudes is this, specifically talking about most likely black men, all right? Instead of issuing a legitimate apology, all right? And I'm not going to speak on her husband or anything like that. You know, I'm sure he loves his wife, you know, but it just seems like she's a tough one to get along with. It seems like she doesn't really respect him like that, all right? Oh, the husband is non-black. Okay. All right. Let me get the super chat real quick. I got another super chat. He says, I was always a nerd. I was never a big basketball fan, despite my name. Oh, Kevin Johnson. Hey, KJ used to be the shit, though, out there in Phoenix. He used to be the shit. All right, let me drop a link. We got a little time today, family. If you want to pull up to the show, see what else you got to say. You're really that mad that you took time out from your job at Publix to do a 45-second think piece on a married woman talking to other women? I don't see the masculinity in it. A lot of you glitch when you hear that a woman has had sex before she met you, because you know. Here we go. Here we go.
You could never measure up in real life. All that practice you've had in your room in the dark with the flashlight, the thing with the vagina on the end, but it looks like a nightlight. You already know that you would never measure up in real life. And a woman who has had sex,
she's delusional, man.
With a human would know that.
She's
which
delusional.
is why a woman having sex before she met you scares the shit out of you, because you know.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't scare nobody. It doesn't scare anybody. Okay. You just more so embarrassing your husband more than anything. You're embarrassing yourself and you're embarrassing your husband and you're embarrassing your family right now. Even talking about this subject. You're a married woman. Respect your marriage. All right. Nobody's intimidated by you fucking multiple dudes before you got married. No man is walking around saying to himself, "Oh, I wonder who knocked her down before I did. I'm so intimidated by the guy that slept with her before I met her." Nobody's saying that. No male in history is saying that shit. Somebody said, yeah, he failed as a father. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say he failed as a father. All right. She's older, man. She's a grown ass woman, bro. You know, she probably got she got great. I mean, she got kids. He got grandkids, man. She's just who she is.
I saw this study the other day that said 50% of you have never even asked a woman out in real life. Guys, 50% of you have never even grown the cajones it requires to walk your little ass across the street and ask a woman you think is attractive for her number. And you're in my comments trying to flame me.
You talk about them young dudes now. All right. What the hell? Is that the same woman? Yeah, that's the same one. She look kind of crazy. Yo, she ain't got nothing to do. That's what that is.
Also, I fear that if I speak about this too long, it'll like dive into class and privilege. And I don't want to do that because it's super yucky. But there are men in my comments who talk about what they would and wouldn't do with me, who could never afford to be in the sort of educational and tax bracket that would have even made them a potential suitable partner for you.
Here we go. You see why I always say it's tied to financial? It always boils back down to the money. All right, so apparently the dudes with the dirty socks, look how insane she sounds. Look how delusional she is. So the dudes previous that you dated, that you admitted had dirty socks and flip-flops, were these guys financially inept as well? Did they have the bag for you as well? Because you admitted to having sex with dudes with dirty socks on. Were these guys rich and wealthy? Could they not afford to talk to you? The dudes with the dirty socks and the flip-flop slides? All right. A euphemism for black men, basically. Man, you can't make this shit up, man. And it's just not her. Like I wrote down the article for you guys. It's just not her. This is like a thing going on right now where, you know, the market is drying up. The market is drying up in the States. Guys getting their passports. All right. Guys are expanding their options. And they feel like, well, before I tap out into a Catwoman, let me at least settle down and marry a nerd. All right. Somebody said I missed the part, her giving an apology. It was supposed to be an apology. She mentioned it, but she didn't really apologize. All right. Somebody said she's embarrassed with DL Hughley. Man, she older. You know, once a woman cross over like a certain age, man, shit, she's gonna do what she do. Yeah, I would be if I was your husband. I'd be upset. I'll be contemplating divorce as well. I don't know who she's married to. I don't know who her husband is. All right. Yeah, she do favor DL a little bit. My man said the market isn't drying up yet. Women still got rosters. Maybe you're right, bro. Maybe you're right. I know us in this particular community, all right, we kind of tapped out. So everybody don't need to come. I will say that. Everybody don't need to come to the party. That's good. That's good. They can keep their little rosters, all right? They can keep their little rosters. Keep them busy. Keep them from coming overseas to bother us. Somebody said her husband is Mexican or something. Okay. All right. All right. So she's insulting the black men that she dated previously. Like I said, you know, the dirty socks and Adidas slides, she's kind of talking about brothers right there. All right. Well, guys, we've hit this hour marker. We got a really good interview that's about to drop soon. Oh, before I go, while we got 129 in the room, I want to put this up. Let me put this image up, man. I want to give a shout out to my developer, all right, and everybody on the Passport Bros app. Guys, let me pull up the website real quick before we go. Okay, let me pull up the website real quick for you guys. So you guys know which website to go to, because of course there are knockoff websites. Hold on. Hold on, family. Let me pull up the website for you guys. A lot of guys have been asking me about the Passport Bros Facebook group. The Passport Bros Facebook group is paused currently. All right. But if you want to connect with the true community of guys that's traveling the world, the real Passport Bros, the official Passport Bros, you can check out the website, officialpassportbros.com. All right. That's where you guys can connect, where you guys can download the Passport Bros app. Okay. We on there heavy. Tap into the community. And also, I also want to give a shout out to my developer. I want to show this picture right here. All right. It's a fully monetized community. I want you guys to keep that in mind. A lot of guys think that is, you know, nothing more but another Facebook group, but it's not. All right. I guarantee you probably never made $1 off Instagram or Facebook. Okay. But you got tips coming and going. Let me see if we can pull that up. All right. These are tips here. And I actually had some more screenshots pulled up of guys, you know, getting tips, making money off the app, depositing to their wallet. But these are tips going in and out, guys. These are guys just supporting each other through their travels by providing very valuable information. All right. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can pull up some of the app. Let me pull up some of the app for you guys, man, because we in here heavy. We in here heavy. All right, let me just kind of pull up some of the posts that get general tips and everything like that. Let's see here. Hold up, I got it. Like I say, we got a burgeoning community over here. Okay, let me pull this up. Hold on. Somebody say they need one of the world map. The world map is supposed to be actually bigger. All right, hold on. Let me do my little DJ thing with the StreamYard real quick. All right. So as you guys can see, we got guys over the world in Spain. All right, Brazil. This is the desktop version right here of the app. And basically what guys do is they mention, you know, the places that they're traveling to, and they give recommendations, and the app community basically supports it, guys. All right. And you get paid directly to your PayPal. I want to give a shout out to my developer for setting that up. We've been working on that for quite some time now. So if you haven't already, check it out. Make sure to check out the official Passport Bros website and also download the Passport Bros app, family. All right. Shout out to my man Punch Travel. All right. All right, guys. We out. Another Sunday rundown. Peace.